Hello, nature enthusiasts. I wanted to talk today about conservation and hunting stamps. Stamps. They're pretty fun and a great tool for conservation. So, one of the things that you need if you're going to hunt birds is to buy a stamp, traditionally called the duck stamp. Now, there are a few different versions of these. There's a California duck stamp, there's a federal duck stamp, and there are also other stamps for other species. For example, there's an upland game bird stamp for things like quail and dove and turkey and pheasants, those kinds of things. Those are the three that I really want to talk about today. There are a few more, but those are really the ones I want to focus on. They've been set up for funding to be secured to improve the populations of these species. So the idea is that if you are a grouse hunter, you have a vested interest in improving the grouse population. And so when you buy your licenses to go out and hunt grouse, some of that money should really go towards improving their habitat and improving their populations. And so that's why these stamps were established, and the funds behind them are secured and dispersed. Now, these different stamps have different priorities. So the federal duck stamp funds go to improving wetland habitats around the country. The California duck stamp goes to improving wetlands in California. The California upland game bird stamp goes to improving habitat for California's upland game birds. So they have these sort of different targets. And how much money is generated and how that money is dispersed kind of varies from organization to organization, fund to fund. But the fundamental concept is the same. That people who are going to go out and hunt these animals should pay some money to have those animals be protected. But that's not the whole story, because for a long, long time after these funds were established, hunting was very popular. And so these funds had a fair bit of money to use for the conservation that they wanted to do. But hunting as a pastime, in this country at least, has been declining for many, many years, for decades. But other people can also benefit from these wildlife and these habitats. And so that's where really the stamps have grown beyond hunting to just general conservation, and why more people than just hunters should buy them. Everyone who goes out and who watches birds or who does nature photography really should buy a duck stamp, because if you're benefiting from these habitats, you also should be paying for the preservation and improvement of those habitats. And I think it's a great way, it's a great system that is already really well established, that we can all help pump funding into protecting these environments. And lest you should get worried, it's not like only the animals that are hunted benefit from these habitats. Just this morning, I was out watching a bunch of white-faced ibis, thousands of white-faced ibis, flying out of the Yolo Bypass, which is this wetland area behind me. White-faced ibis are not a hunted species. They're not a game species at all. There is no legal hunt for white-faced ibis. And yet, they absolutely benefit from the habitat created for ducks and geese. So waterfowl hunting and waterfowl habitat benefits the white-faced ibis and many, many other species as well. And the same is true for upland species. If you think about the oak woodlands that many California quail like to live in, those oak woodlands are hugely diverse. There are many, 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 many species that benefit not just California quails. And the same can be true of mountain quail or grouse. If you're protecting mountain quail and grouse habitat up in the Sierras and the Cascade Mountains in California, you're protecting huge and very important habitats. So the impacts of hunting stamps go far beyond hunting. And that's really why I think it's really important for anyone who likes the outdoors, for anyone who likes birds and wildlife, to contribute, to buy these duck stamps. I'll leave links in the description below for where federal and California stamps can be purchased, and you can learn a little bit more about them. And I really encourage you to sort of help me put our money where our mouth is and buy those stamps and support habitat conservation for, yes, hunted species, and also all the other species that live in the same habitats. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel. And until next time, enjoy the natural world.